when we spoke to people who'd actually piloted the strategy in newsrooms, mainly in the north of England, we found that there has been some investment in new technology, video cameras, obviously for the video journalists, video editing software. The new Terra GN3 system is being rolled out across Trinity Mirror newsrooms to smooth the way for a web-first editorial policy so that stories can be published straight to the internet. But the company is emphatic that no new staff will be hired to do the extra work created by the move to online. In fact, they contend that there will be no extra work created by the move to online. Now, this is an absolute fallacy, and it flies in the face of all the evidence that we found in pilot newsrooms. The second area of concern is over increasing workloads. 86% of respondents to our survey, again another very high percentage, stated that they thought online plans would mean more work for them. 84% say that they're already too busy, too overstretched to take on more responsibilities. One journalist at Cardiff really summed up the mood when they said to us, "It's not something that's achievable on existing human resource levels. Can't or it won't be done because existing staff will see it as a step too far. It's not that they don't want to do it, it's that they can't do it on current resource levels." And interestingly, this kind of attitude wasn't limited to reporters. One thing we heard over and over is that editors are, unofficially at least, very reluctant to commit to the online strategy fully because it is so resource intensive. Evidence from the pilot newsroom suggests that in many places, video is just not being produced anymore after initial kind of honeymoon period or flurry of activity creating video journalism. It's not being made because it just takes so long to do with the technology available. It can take up to, and it's not unusual, but it takes 1 day to produce a quality clip of video to go on the web. Whereas, you know, and you've got possibly one of your best journalists out of the newsroom, out of his usual role of writing print articles, and shooting and editing and uploading video for 1 day. Sometimes, you know, that can take a fifth or a sixth, even in some places a quarter of your workforce out of action for a day. And Trinity Mirror is talking about each daily producing 2 to 3 clips per day. It really doesn't add up, and you can see that they haven't done any kind of planning or sums on this at all. The third area of concern we found is that the quality of news will suffer as the same numbers of staff are spread ever more thinly. It wasn't part of our remit to make judgments about whether news quality has been affected already by online. It's probably too early to tell. But it's clear that staff and academic experts are fairly grave in their predictions about what's going to happen in the future. A journalist at Trinity Pilot Digital Newsroom summed up this feeling when he told us, "If we're asked to create more multimedia stuff with no extra resources, the quality will go down. By definition, you haven't got as many people writing the newspaper, so they have to do what they did before quicker and to a worse standard. In terms of our strength, which is creating good quality local and regional news, it'll suffer because it'll be diluted and there'll be less of it." One concrete criticism that was made a number of times was about the quality of the video content already being produced. A number of people, including video journalists themselves, complained that video content often looked amateurish, and even more people pointed to the worrying trend of using cheap, pre-packaged PR, police video material, and even to newspapers taking content from video websites like YouTube and Google Video to provide cheap content, which is, you know, it's not very savoury, but you can understand why this is happening. People are under pressure to put those videos on the website, so they're gonna go to where they can. The fourth major area of concern we found concerned training. Jenny Lennox. Jenny said they only get a few weeks training. What can you learn about video journalism and editing video in that time? The ramifications are a bit mad. You hit the nail on the head there, didn't you? As you know, making a transition from print to broadcast journalism traditionally takes a considerable amount of retraining. Yet Trinity Mirror is content with journalists having 3-week, and more recently, cuts have been made, 1-week courses on shooting and editing video footage before they're expected to go back to the newsroom and put video online. We spoke to academics at institutions that Trinity Mirror and other companies have approached in order to provide training at their institutions. And they told us that they were unable to offer adequate training for the price that the company wanted to pay. This is being done on the cheap. The final area of concern, and this is the bottom line in so many cases, of course, is pay. Staff we talked to all over the country were insistent that learning new skills, taking on additional or more demanding work should be rewarded with more pay. 85% of journalists said that they saw lack of additional pay as a disadvantage to training as a video journalist. Those who have done the training are often quite grateful for the new skills and they often enjoy the work. But most of them complain that they haven't been given any extra pay. Some were promised pay rises at the beginning which never materialized. Most were just told that no, you can't expect any kind of financial reward for learning these new skills. The company claims that the enhanced future career prospects of being able to do this is reward enough, which in any other industry is laughable. To conclude, I've only offered you a really broad overview of what's in the report. There's a lot more detail there. There's a lot more history. There's more commentary from academic experts assessing the strategy. Is it practical? Will it be profitable? Which is another really key area of concern that needs to be discussed. We've got detailed discussions of the minutiae of the strategy. What will it mean in practice? The details of how video journalism works in the newsroom. The implications of web-first publishing at regional and local newspaper level. The report's online on the NUJ site. It's also on the Guardian site, linked to Roy Greensley's blog. So feel free to look at it. Contact myself or Bob Franklin, my co-author, for any questions you might have. But I'd like to leave you with our conclusion. It's not really our conclusion, actually. It's the near unanimous message of everyone we spoke to, whether they were practitioners or commentators. And it's really simple. Trinity Mirror faces a stark choice as it moves online. And the same can be said for most of its competitors. It can continue to make cuts with an eye on maintaining short-term profit and watch the quality of its news decline over time, or it can invest in journalism with the aim of producing quality print and digital news, with a view to creating sustainable long-term profits. There's no doubt that the future of news provision involves the internet. I don't think that is in debate anymore. But you can't attract advertisers or readers on the cheap. Moving online must be accompanied by substantial investment in quality journalism, and unfortunately at the moment, Trinity Mirror seems to disagree.